What is going on, y'all? Jason, Holly, right here, over here at Cog Hill Farm. Holly's trying to get her baby. Hang on, I get it. Hang on. Hang on. I don't know if I can get it out there. Hang on. There we go. There you go. Good job. But guess what, y'all? Well, I guess as you can see, we're back. We're back from our break, our vacation, our family vacation. We are back. If you didn't catch yesterday's, or not yesterday's, if you didn't catch the live stream, then you don't know where we went, but we went to Big Bend National Park in Southwest Texas. That was our big trip this year. We actually did something cool, is that a lot of people think we're crazy, but we actually drove there. It was 18, 19 hour drive, but I must tell y'all, absolutely beautiful. Just gorgeous over there. I mean, I say this all the time when we take pictures and share them. Pictures do not do any of these places justice. And I think, honestly, I think every single state in the United States has got some, you know, everything's beautiful. And gosh, I wish I could see and visit every single state. Maybe something that we end up doing throughout the years. I don't know, but I have found myself enjoying traveling and doing this thing, especially, you know, when your daughter's so passionate about something. And Mary Carl has now heard or has seen over 400 different species of birds in the United States. Absolutely awesome. Awesome. Just a great time. We had such a marvelous time. I do want to say this. I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to everyone that make this possible, because it takes a lot of people to help us out when we leave for anything. And big, huge thank you to Mackenzie for taking care of all the animals. Huge thank you to Wes for editing those videos y'all saw when we were gone and uploading them and publishing those videos while we were gone, and kind of handling things on the backside of things around here. Thank you to Brooke's mom for taking care of the dogs and watering my plants for me. And also a big thank you to Noah. Noah came a couple of days while we were gone and kind of tidied stuff up and cleaned up and that kind of stuff for us. And we thank every single one of y'all, and plus everybody that was on standby in case we had an emergency. Yeah, thank each and every one of y'all for this. We appreciate y'all so much. Without y'all, then we couldn't do a family vacation. We just couldn't. So thank y'all so much. I do want to make one more announcement, and that is this, if you didn't catch it on live stream, is that we have decided to cut back one video a week, and that will be on Brooke's channel. Brooke was doing 2 videos a week. It's just become way too much, not only for her, for me, it just has. It's just become way too much. And so we're going to cut back 1 video a week for Brooke's channel. So instead of 2 videos, it's going to be 1 video a week. We do apologize for that, but it's a change that we had to make. Anywhere from 30 to 33 videos a month when it's all said and done, including the live streams. And we had to cut back because it's just become just way too much with Mary Carl getting older and wanting to do things and that kind of thing. I know you guys understand. I know y'all completely understand. But that was another big announcement that I just wanted to make. There's my boss lady right there and Miss Pocket over here. How y'all doing? Y'all miss me? Y'all miss me? Pocket's in here in the fan, as you can see. Got the fan going over here. Peaches is laying in the doors. A big breeze that comes through here when we open up all the doors. And Peaches gets for a lot of times she loves to lay right there. Oh goodness. We certainly missed y'all. Yes, we did. Yeah, we missed everybody. We missed everybody. I will say this. We have a ton of cameras here. I can see every single animal just about anywhere on the farm. And so I was constantly checking on them when I could. Now, I didn't have the best service in certain areas over there at Big Bend, but some areas I did. Some areas I had pretty good service. But I was constantly checking on all the animals, seeing how everybody was doing. Yeah. 16 cameras? Off the top of my head, we got 16 cameras around here. Yeah. I could check on my babies when we needed to, didn't we? Yeah, that's right. Now, one cool thing, well, really, one main reason that we went to this place in Texas. Oh, look at the cows. What's going on, Matilda? Hey, girl. Was a certain bird called a Kalima warbler. Not a very pretty bird, not super fancy, kind of a light gray bird with a light yellow bottom. I mean, nothing very, very fancy at all. How you doing? Barn swallows going around here. But what makes this bird so special is that it only has been, it's hard to see, okay? It's hard to see. Not many people get to see this bird because its breeding spot, one of very few breeding spots, is in the one of the mountain ranges over here, over there in Big Bend in Texas. And it is a small little area. It's a canyon and in a small little oak tree section in the mountains. And Mary Carl and myself actually hiked up there. It was a 8-mile trip, round trip, I should say. And you know, you could get all the way up to the top of this thing and not even see the bird. And so, you know, that was always in the back of my mind. I don't know about hers, but that was in the back of mine. But we got about, oh gosh, goodness, girl, we gotta slow down. Goodness. About 20 yards before we got to where we were gonna be. And she heard it, and then I heard it. And then we got to this little spot on the mountain, and lo and behold, we definitely heard it. And then Merlin heard it, and then we saw it. We never could get a good picture of it, or she couldn't, because it wouldn't sit still. But we got to see it, and we did get to hear it, which was huge. That was the main reason that we went on this trip, was for that particular warbler. Now, we did get to see all kinds of other animals over there. Tons of birds that we never could see around here. But as we're hiking up this mountain, y'all, I had my head down because, what's going on, girl? You doing all right? It's hot, isn't it? Yeah, feels pretty good right here, though. I'm not gonna lie, it feels great right here. You know, you pretty smart girl, but it does feel good right here. You didn't have to get up. Listen, you didn't have to get up. No, you did not have to get up. Not at all. You did not have to, baby. Yeah. But as we're hiking up this mountain area, I kind of had my head down because there's a bunch of loose rocks. It was not the views are absolutely stunning, but it was not the most fun hike, I should say, because it was hot, it was long, and the footing, you had to look down because it was just rocks everywhere. And you didn't want to slip. Last thing you want is a darn sprained ankle on this mountain. But I'm looking down, and I heard something walking, and I heard Mary Carl go, whoa. And y'all, literally, oh gosh, 20 foot from us, 30 foot from us was a black bear. Minding his business, walking around. And you know what's crazy is I had no fear of seeing a black bear in the desert on this mountain in Texas, Southwest Texas. Zero. In Alaska, I worried about them all the time. Texas, no. Never, no, no. Zero. So I kind of pulled Mary Carl back, and we were beside a tree. And, you know, you're supposed to yell and wave your arms and all that kind of good stuff, but this bear was paying us zero attention. And so I just told her, just have my hand on Mary Carl. We're just going to be quiet and just watch the bear walk away. And if the bear looks up at us, and then I'm going to start, you know, my Michael Jackson dancing, you know, and or my Chuck Norris moves, something. And we're going to try to scare this bear away. The bear never looked up. Just kept on minding his business, kept on walking. I can't tell y'all how fast my heart was beating. I was trying to remain calm, and I did. I mean, I was perfectly calm. I didn't freak out or anything. And I had a plan. But, yeah. And no bear spray. I mean, I never would have thought that I would have saw a bear here. You know, absolutely crazy. So we went on up the mountainside, and of course we got to see the bird and a lot of other birds too, and great views. And me and Mary Carl had a great time. Brooke stayed back. She didn't think she could do it. And just one-on-one with me and Mary Carl, you know, doing something that she loves, outside, in nature, hiking, up a mountain. I mean, I don't know what you could ask for anything better. I mean, I really don't. I mean, it was absolutely awesome. What's going on there, Ope? How you doing, buddy? I'm just telling everybody about the trip, giving them a little update, what's going on, you know, letting the Cog squad know we are back and back to our regular scheduled program. Yeah, sure are. Yeah, we are. You about as sweet as Nugget, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, you are. But we did get to see, got fairly close to, what do you call them? Javelina? What's the wild pig looking thing over there? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they were in one particular spot where we were trying to find something called a Grace's. There was a Lucy warbler. You look way better than they do, I must tell you, girl. How about that? You are shedding your hair, aren't you, girl? Hmm? You are. You and Peaches, y'all shed at 2 different times. Look at that. Sure do. To get back on my treatment again, a hair care treatment. I'm gonna have to open up the hair salon back up. Speaking of, let's go do that now. One of y'all gifted me a sign, and I mentioned it in a video or two ago. And it is a new sign for the barn, and I've really been trying to figure out where I put it, and I think I should put it over here. Here it is right here, y'all. Look at here. Farmer Jason's hair salon sign, and I think I'm gonna put it over here where Peaches and Pocket are, because this is where I do most of my side hustle, my hair styling over here. I do it mostly over on this side, even though Loretta does get treatment too, and of course the horses do too. But I'm thinking Peaches and Pocket, we can always move it, but I think I'm gonna put it up here for now. Perfect. You know what I need, Peaches? I need me one of those barbershop candy cane things. I might start looking on Facebook Marketplace, or I take that back. I'll get Brooke to start looking on Facebook Marketplace. She's the one that's good at that, not me. I think I see almost all the cows over here. Let's go see if all the cows are over here. There's, oh, that's Little Man. I'm fixing to say Tater, but that is Little Man. And does he not look like he's the exact same size as his mama is? Mildred, Matilda, and there's the big man on campus over there. Big Moo Man. You miss me, buddy? I know you did. I know you miss your head scratches. Yeah, I know it. I know. Where's old Tater Bug at, though? Huh? I don't see Tater Bug. I can see they relocated their mineral bucket. Oh, that's a good spot for it right there, though. I never thought about that, but I like that. Got in a corner. Can't really move it that way. Can't move it that way. I like that spot. I may put the strap on it over there. There she is. There she is. Over there with Big Moo Daddy. Look, Moo's casting a shadow for her to stand on. That is using your brain right there. Absolutely 1000%. My goodness. So I know you would think that the bear would have been actually the most nerve-wracking moment. That's not the case. Let me tell you what happened our last full day there. We were there our last day looking for this warbler, found it. Then it was starting to get a little late, and it didn't get dark there till 10 o'clock, honestly, because we're so far west. And let's go look for some raptors, which are hawks, mainly hawks is what Mary Carl was looking for. There was a particular hawk, a black hawk was the one she was looking for. So we started riding around some more. Then I started noticing some clouds come up. And it did rain there almost every single day that we were there, which is something that we found out was not the norm at all. Well, one thing that I did notice was that you would see these areas throughout the park that would say flood zone. I come this close to telling Brooke and Mary Carl, I think we need to head on back. I don't like these clouds, and these little flood areas kind of make me nervous. But we didn't. And I was kind of thinking to myself, how in the world can that water get that high? Y'all, look at this. Look at this. I mean, come on. I mean, can y'all believe this? What was there, like 2 or 3 of these guys blooming before we left? And now it's 1,000? That's just crazy. Got to show you one more thing too. But let's just take these in just for a minute. Y'all, this is my green beans, and look at here. Y'all remember what they looked like before we left? Look at that. They are ready. They are ready. Me and Brooke will be picking those either tomorrow or the next day. I mean, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Bees going everywhere after I did that, but man, it's beautiful. I mean, just 1 week and look at that. Unbelievable. And look at the sunflowers too. Look at the sunflowers. Look at there. We got some dwarf sunflowers coming up there. There's my sweet potatoes. But yeah, I just had to show y'all the garden. How awesome it looks. One more thing while I'm over here. Look at the sun hemp. Right here you can see it's taller than I am for the most part. And we're starting to get these blooms now, which smell like, it's nothing like I've ever smelt before. Oh, it smells so good. Garden update, check. Now, on back to the story I was talking about. So the storm clouds are coming in, and the way the roads curve, I kept thinking, oh, we're not going into it, we're away from it. The next thing you know, you were driving right into it, and next thing you know, no. And then the next thing I know, we saw a blue SUV up ahead of us with its flashers on, and the closer we got, I then realized, yeah, it was happening. The one thing that I worried about actually was happening. There was a big flash flood on the road. I actually thought that the road had kind of washed away at first, but then I kind of looked and I was like, well, maybe not. And then this jacked up Dodge truck decided he was just going to drive through it, and I was holding my breath because I was thinking the water's moving way too fast. And he's going to hit that rushing water. It's going to push his truck off the edge. It's storming, lightning, thundering, and us 2-3 cars here are going to have to get out and try to rescue these people because this guy wasn't thinking right, or just was impatient, I should say. He did indeed start inching up there and started to try it, and luckily, either had somebody in the truck that told him, hey, this isn't a good idea, or he got scared. And I think he just got scared because when his tires hit it, he kind of backed up. Thank goodness, because that water was moving, y'all. As we're sitting there, about 3 more cars come in behind us. And let me just say, we were the only car. Everybody else was in a truck or a SUV. We were driving Brooks Prius, okay? This is not meant for off-roading. So that became my other fear was, okay, once this thing finally slows down enough, these people are just gonna drive right over it. How in the world are we gonna get out of this? And so we just kind of sat there. Luckily, the people that were in front of us driving the blue SUV, it was 2 friends, and he lived in the area. He was local. And so he knew what he was. There was no fear. He was really calm, extremely helpful. He started getting all the rocks out of the way. He had a shovel. So I started going out there with him. I had the hiking shoes are not waterproof, so I'm ankle deep in this water trying to get the rocks out too. It starts to slow down, and then I realized what had happened is that it had washed all these rocks. And I'm talking about, y'all, there was rocks that I don't think I could pick up. That water had washed, and that's what made it like the road had washed out. That was like a little wall of rocks that come off the side of the mountain and the desert that was piled up right there. And I kept thinking, there's no way in the world we're gonna get out of here. There's just no way. The guy behind us was a worker there. He was working. He didn't work for the state, but he was a contractor working around. And he proceeds to tell us that this happened one time the week prior, but it wasn't near this bad. And it took them a little while to get out there. And he said it could take them upwards to 5 hours to get out here and clean this up. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, already, let's see, it was probably about 6-ish or 7 o'clock at this point. 5 hours, you're talking midnight-ish, you know, hot. At least the temperature would have dropped because it had gotten dark, but you know, that starts sinking in my head that all these other people are going to drive away, and then it's just going to be us sitting here in the middle of the desert on a road waiting for a cleanup crew to come. So after about an hour waiting, it started to slow down some. It was still moving, but it had slowed down a little bit, and it started thundering again. So that was my other fear, was that this thing, we're going to get this thing halfway cleaned up. It's going to get just about where we could possibly try crossing this thing, and it's going to storm again, and we're going to be back over at square one. So me and this gentleman are out there moving rocks, and he took his 4-wheel-drive SUV and he went over it. And what happened was, is that the rocks kind of made it was a wall, but then it was flat. It was like a layer of, y'all, it was probably a foot or better of rock. So his idea was, let's try to make a ramp. You know, let's take the rocks and let's kind of slope it, and let's make a ramp that maybe the Prius can drive over it. So that's kind of what we started doing. And then we decided to let everybody else go through and let us be last, and that way they could pack it down more. And so all the cars went through, and it was time for our big moment. And after being there a little over an hour, we tried to go across it. Man, we appreciate y'all a bunch. And we made it. Absolutely made it. I could not be more happier. I'm telling y'all, I was so ecstatic that we made it. I cannot believe we got out either. Now, and how to walk, look how, that's high, this is high. And it got all the way up here. That's crazy.
I can't believe we got out. I just knew we were.
My joy was short-lived. Yeah. Short-lived. There's the rest of the crew out here, the donkeys and the goats and everybody out here chilling. Loretta done made her way back over here too. Yeah, my celebrating was short-lived because we went, oh gosh, I know it wasn't even a mile, and the exact same thing was happening in another spot. And I thought, oh my goodness, what in the world? And so we did the same thing. Started moving some rocks out. He went across it first. We started looking. This one kind of had like a up, down, and back up. And, you know, my biggest fear was that I didn't want to tear Brooke's car up. So, you know, my fear was something like that was going to happen. And then we'd been broke down in the middle of nowhere. That would have been terrible. But, same thing, we got it all done, got it squared away. Look at those rocks, look at that. They're huge. And we got it. Brooke drove over it and got it. And yes, hallelujah, we're out until we hit number 3.
Just follow his same trail.
Yeah, just follow his same trail. There's no rocks here. This is just moving water. But luckily this one wasn't near as bad as the first two. And actually, we didn't even get out. We just kind of eased across it and made it. And then we could see the main road right there in our sights. And if we knew if we could get on that main road, we were gonna be great. And we did. And that was it. Crazy thing is that Brooke told me today that she saw in this little group she was in, a Big Bend group, that they had closed the road we were on today because of flooding. Another big storm come through and they got over 2 inches of rain that day, and they averaged 6 inches for like the whole summer, maybe the year or something, I forget, some kind of crazy. It's a desert for a reason, right? So yeah, I'm thankful that we just barely missed. I mean, we got right into it right there at the tail end on our last day, but I'm thankful that we didn't get into it another day. So that leaves me, I gotta know, have any of y'all ever been to Big Bend National Park or in that area, Alpine, Texas? We ended up going to Fort Davis, Texas too, to a park over there. Just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Just getting in the car, going. We had our stop, but we didn't know where we were going to stop in between. Finding a hotel, you know, seeing if they got a vacancy, pulling over. I don't know, just kind of reminds you, you know, traveling when I was a kid, you know. Didn't have the internet, didn't have cell phones, didn't have navigation. Speaking of not having navigation, there were certain times where our navigation wouldn't work in Big Bend because the service was terrible. And I thought right then, I am definitely, next time we go on a road trip, I am getting maps. Hardcore, physical maps. Wherever we're going, I'm getting a map. I'm not dependent on cell service. I'm just not. I remember Granddaddy had that big, thick atlas, you know, with all the states in it when we used to go camping. You know, he just flipped through it. No cell phones. You just pull into a campsite, you know, KOA or whatever, and spend a night. It's kind of what it reminds me of. It does bring back memories of my childhood, I can tell you. So I gotta show y'all the horses, my other babies, yeah. I wanted to say hello to y'all this evening right here. Absolutely. I do want to answer one question. I've seen it pop up a few times, and that is, why have I not been riding Maggie? Well, some things popped up when I started riding Maggie, and then the heat set in after that. And y'all, it has been so hot. I rode her one time. Actually, I did ride her through the trails that Brooke made for me. And when we got back, she was sweating so bad, and I did that early in the morning. And I thought to myself, I just got a big heart, you know, and I love riding, and it probably didn't bother her, but in my mind it did. And so that's why I'm not riding Maggie. It's just, to me, it's really, really hot, really hot. I may wake up maybe one morning around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and maybe me and her can do a little riding, but I'm not going to ride that big loop over there. It was just, to me, it was just too much. Just way too much for her. Yep. But my babies are doing great. Doing awesome. I got one more thing I need to show you guys real quick. First of all, look at the zinnias. Those fusion zinnias. Look at there. I actually saw, I think it's over here. Let's go over here and look. This one. This one is, where'd it go? So this one? Yeah, this one's got a bloom already, look. Right there. It's gonna get, you know, should get 3 times bigger than that or better. And of course, I got to show y'all this right here. The lily of the Nile, the purple lily of the Nile is, and it's not, I thought it was gonna be all the way bloomed out by the time I got home, but it's not. There's still some more blooms that need to open. But you can really see now how beautiful this flower is. And the drift roses. I mean, they are, this might be just as big as the show as the first flush. And this is the second flush with no deadheading whatsoever. How about that? Unreal. What you doing, Arlo? Huh? What are you doing, buddy? Hey, Gidget. Hey, Gidget. Hey, girl. Hey. Well, y'all, we certainly appreciate y'all being patient with us last week. And thank y'all for everything. Okay, we're going to have a mob here. Thank y'all so much for everything. Y'all stay hydrated and cool out there now. We don't need none of y'all getting hurt. No. Catch you on the next one. Love you guys. Y'all be good.